Okay, open your notebook to the next 2 clean sheets of notebook paper so that you can take notes on this section. Okay, next is solving two-step equations. So let's take a look at our essential question. The essential question, what are the steps to solving two-step equations? Some vocabulary terms you should be familiar with are like terms, variables, operations, and inverse. We will be using all of these terms in solving the next 2 problems. So our first example, we're going to solve x divided by 4 minus 3 equals 2. So the main idea is to get the x by itself. When we're solving, we want to get x equals a number. We use inverse operations to help us accomplish this. So first, we're going to start by writing down the problem. So we have x over 4 minus 3 equals 2. We want to first use inverse operations to isolate the x. Okay, so we're going to use inverse operations to isolate the x, get the x by itself. So the first way we're going to do this is by adding 3 to both sides of the equation. So we're going to add 3 to both sides of the equal sign. So our equal sign is right here. And then we get x over 4. Negative 3 and a positive 3 cancel each other out. That equals 0. Bring down our equal sign. 2 plus 3 is 5. The next step is to multiply by 4 on both sides. Okay, so if you look at this first part, it's x divided by 4. So we're going to multiply by 4 on both sides of the equal sign. So we're going to times by 4 on the left, times by 4 on the right, and then we'll simplify that expression. So the 4's here cancel, leaving us with just the x all by itself. And on the right, 5 times 4 is 20. So once we have solved and gotten x equal to 20, we want to check our solution. So we'll do that over here on the right column. When you're checking a solution, you start with the equation. So x over 4 minus 3 equals 2. The x becomes the 20. This is just like evaluating expressions. You substitute 20 in for the x variable, so the 20 goes on top. Divide by 4 minus 3 equals 2. Okay, we use order of operations to evaluate the left-hand side. You cannot add 3 to both sides. You already did that to get to the 20. You now need to use a different process to check it. So order of operations. We look for grouping symbols. There aren't any. We look for exponents. There aren't any. Multiply, divide. We do have a division. 20 divided by 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Minus 3 equals 2. And then we do the add, subtract. And there is a subtraction. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 does equal 2, so that works. So x equal to 20 is our solution. Next example. We're going to solve 4w plus 2w equals 24. Since we have multiple w's in the expression, we need to rewrite it so that there's only one w. So to do that, we are going to combine like terms. So we want to combine like terms first. So we have 4w plus 2w equals 24. 4w and the 2w are like terms, so we're going to add those together. 4 plus 2 gives us 6w equal to 24. Now we're going to use inverse operations to isolate the variable, to get the w by itself. So we're going to use inverse operations to isolate the variable. And the operation we're going to use to do this is divide by 6. Since it's 6 times w, I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides of the equal sign. The 6 goes away on the left. 6 divided by 6 gives you a 1w equals 24 divided by 6, which is 4. Our last step, check. So when we check our solution, copy down what the problem was to start with, and we're going to substitute 4 in for all w's. So we have 4 times 4 plus 2 times 4 equals 24. Now you cannot do any combining or dividing. You have to evaluate the left-hand side using order of operations. So we look for grouping symbols. There's nothing to do inside the parentheses. We look for exponents. There aren't any. Multiply. We have two sets of multiplying parts. So 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 times 4, which is 8. And we're checking to see if it equals 24. Note, I'm doing nothing to the 24 side. There's nothing over there, so you just leave it alone. Working on the left. 16 plus 8 gives us 24, which does equal 24, so that checks. So W equal to 4 is our solution. So we've done just 2 examples. The next slide has the essential question again, which I want you to answer on the left side of your notebook, the left page, and 2 example problems. So you'll do your essential question, the 2 example problems, and then I have a couple of extra questions to think about. So again, on the left side of your notebook, you're going to answer what are the steps to solve 2-step equations. So you're just going to write out one set of steps based on the 2 example problems we've done. Then you're going to solve the following 2 practice problems, A and B. And then I just want you to look at these questions down at the bottom, think about them, and we'll start there next class.